Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Resident Evil 5 on Professional difficulty. This is Chapter 3-1. It's entitled The Marshlands. And my most detested chapter on the Resident Evil 5 campaign is the Tombs. But this chapter here, it definitely ranks as one of my nearly most detested levels. I mean, it ranks up pretty high among them. So we have some treasures over here. I think that beetle on the tree is only worth about 1,000, but it's still something that's worth picking up. And the reason I hate the tombs, did I say that? I've done this commentary a couple times. I hate the tombs because of the puzzle aspect, but it's mostly because of the villagers. These villagers they're hard to stagger. They deal tremendous amounts of damage to you, and the guys with the masks, I really hate. Now, I don't know for certain if you have to come over here and pick up the slate map, which tells you the coordinates. See, when you get this map, it will put those three slashes on the map, and at this point, it opens up for you, and you can go. I believe you can go wherever you want to. I've just developed a way that I go every time, just to make sure that I don't forget anything. But I don't mind going on the boat. It's interesting. And it's not really fun, especially when you have to have Sheva kill guys while you're controlling the skiff. I don't mind that at all. It's just the villagers. And there may be a fight in this chapter that I just outright skip, because I haven't done it yet, but I've done some of it. And I just have about half of it left to do the commentary for. So this is a way to get to this location, and you'll get your first checkpoint. I would recommend having a lot of proximity mines to anticipate these guys. So I'm going to equip my 5 here, and if you go all the way down the path over here, you will trigger a spawn, so don't go all the way down quite yet. I'm going to place a couple over here, and then the one that I place over here, not that one, but this next one, is where one of the enemies spawns that I saw, so I'm going to put it right there for him. And I'm just going to set up these traps here so that I can save some of my ammunition. You can purchase the proximity mines from the store. They're 150, and I think you get 10, which is a really good deal. So, coming back here now, did you see that guy that blew up? Not him, but the one before. I didn't expect him to outright die, but yeah, these guys too. I can see the reason why these guys are in here, especially the way that the monks were having those shields in RE4. But those shields in that game, it didn't take that much to destroy them. These ones here are just outright crazy. The guy in the water, I'm not sure. He might have been the one that I set up that one trap for, and he exploded, and the force of the impact landed him in the water. Just be very careful. I kind of fear this enemy, and I don't like them whatsoever. And it's just all to do with the way that they're hard to stagger, and just they deal way too much damage. And there's usually a lot of them too. And this worked out pretty damn well. So that's the end of it. Got a couple of lucky headshots. I think even Sheva got a headshot in that particular fight. And this is a mandatory fight. The reason why is because the slate piece that you need is beyond. Maybe you might be able to get away with it. I think you probably could, actually. I was just thinking to myself, can you get away with that? I think the answer is yes. So if you're having trouble over here, or if you don't have enough ammunition, I would just recommend just skipping all the encounters that you can, because sometimes these fights, they just aren't worth it. So what we're going to do, the reason I thought you couldn't skip it is because I thought they sealed off the area where the slate that we need is, but they don't. It's actually in this hut right over here, in that particular box. And I don't know if I missed any treasures over here. So I'm not concerned with getting every single treasure in this game. That's not my goal. But I do realize the importance of getting all those, because some of them are quite valuable and they could definitely help you out. as far as making the more costly purchases in this game and upgrading the Magnum and things like that that are really important. So now we're going to get a checkpoint here, and it's a justified checkpoint because we're going to have some enemies throwing projectiles at us and shooting at us as we leave. The only fight that you have to do is the first one. Okay, so on this next part here, it's divided into two sequences, one of which is mandatory. The next one you can just flee from. Now, the gate is not going to open until you take out all 5 of these enemies here. What I was doing was training the camera off of them, because that sometimes works in games where the enemies cease to function, really, unless you put the camera on them, and it was working pretty well over here. I'm not sure if it's because I have a sliver of health off me, or if it doesn't matter, but I was getting killed in one shot over here. And unfortunately, if Sheva runs out of ammunition, you can't give her any, and you'll have to reset the checkpoint. It's pretty horrible, and I wish they just gave you a choice and let you shoot or her control the boat, but there is no choice. And right here, I would just strafe around those enemies, and we're just going to be going to the next waypoint on the right side of that island map right there. And some of these guys will give you some trouble. None of these enemies have to be killed, but you know, sometimes they're just going to get in your way. What else to say about this? Any other remarks that I can think of? The handling is okay for a game like this. I just wouldn't be a sitting duck if I were you. I would just keep moving the boat back and forth. Keep the camera off the enemies. Let her do her thing. She's pretty decent at shooting the enemies. And we're just going to go to the next objective. It's a very simple area, but it looks a little intimidating because there are crocodiles over here. Now, I did find one treasure that I hadn't found quite yet, and it's over here by the tree. And it is a brown beetle, which I think sells for 2,000. The glorious thing about this section is that it looks really dangerous, but you're really never in any danger, and it is completely fair. I mean, you kind of have to. I've got eaten once against my wishes, like when I was coming back, because there is no checkpoint, but that was back on my previous campaign. So, jumping in here now, I'm aiming my gun straight ahead, because that's where they jumped last time, but this time they jumped over to the right a little bit. There's just going to be, I think, 4 of the villagers. I'm just going to call them villagers, and one of these guys had the unique idea of trying to cut me off, which was pretty exemplary for the AI. That guy right there. Yeah, how the fuck did he get from point A to point B? If you rewind that, there's no way in hell. No way in hell. And I think I got an accidental neck break right there. The next part is just complete bullshit, though, because you're going to be dealing with the giant Majinis. And I have my rifle pretty high up, yeah. I don't know what I was doing there. I was trying to cut her face for some reason, but I have my rifle up to I think I'm like maybe 5 upgrades away from having it all the way up from the damage. And these guys, you can't do headshots because they've got complete protection from these some kind of a like a rock hard mask, and I don't think it can be destroyed. And I'm not going to start using a rocket launcher over here, but I'm sure that would take care of them. And it's just kind of frustrating. It's frustrating when an enemy is protected in that kind of manner. You'll see him up ahead. So the only way that I know to kill this guy is just to pump as much ammunition as you can into his belly and they do drop every now and then, and that gives you the opportunity to do the context button. But I question how much damage that deals, to be honest. For an enemy like that, I just don't think it does very much damage. For the smaller enemies, yeah, but not for these guys. These guys are they seriously take the cake. They typify what a bullet sponge is, and that's a damn shame. So I'm gonna have to put this in fast forward here because she took a long time to come back. I've never had her getting eaten by the crocodiles. If you have, let me know, because I'd be interested to know. I've gone through that swamp many times, never got anything. Oh, this part sucks too. I'm gonna be fleeing from this fight, but it's difficult to get out of here because they trap you at the end. So the only thing I'm gonna go for over here is this treasure right there. It's the pear sapphire, and there is some kind of an abomination that sprouts from one of the heads over on these guys too, and it's one of the only times in the game that it does it, and it's just so fucking freakish that it just kind of makes your skin crawl. Now over here, up here on one of these, on this one in particular, there's going to be a treasure, so have her get that. And then on the other one, that's where they spawn. They spawn as soon as she opens it. So you may have noticed that I planted some proximity mines over here. That's just to rough these guys up a little bit while I make my exit here. It's really difficult just to get out of here. I just don't want to do this fight, and the main reason is because the next fight is so demanding on all of your resources. So getting the hell out of Dodge, it took me about 4 tries to get out of here. 4 successful tries, that is. It took me about maybe 12 tries to get out of here. By which I mean, I did it about 12 times, and some of the times when I was almost at the boat, I still failed because they grabbed me. So you do get a checkpoint, and I think if you do secure that checkpoint, I'm almost positive you can go back there and loot, but I didn't do it. But it's definitely an option. So now we have all the 4 shards, and we're going to put them into the doorway, secure another checkpoint, and then that's when the real test of your metal is going to come up here, and possibly the test of your patience, really. But I can't believe how much damage these guys can take. So if you remember in Resident Evil 4, we had these blue medallions. In this game, they just serve to unlock different collectible items. So occasionally I may shoot one, but to me they don't have much value, if any. And right there's some kind of an explosion. I'm not sure what that is. It could just be some part of the story. So right over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some proximity mines. And the ticket to winning, I think, over here is, I mean, if you're really hard up, you're really going to have to go for the free Magnum in here, but it's one of those things where you have to earn it by killing some enemies who trap you inside this area here. So the key is to keep your partner close to you as you go in here. Let her catch up to you, because if she doesn't, what's going to happen then is you'll be trapped in here, and if you get hit, nobody can revive you. Like, she's going to revive me right now, but if she gets trapped outside, any hit from anybody and you're just in the red and you can't heal yourself. Because if you're in the red, you can't heal, you can't access the menu, you can't shoot, you can walk, but that's it. So the corpse down here has the Magnum, and you cannot buy Magnum rounds in this game, and you very infrequently get them. So what I've done here is I laid those mines, and because I went in here, there is if you go all the way to the end of the map where the gate is, you'll spawn the enemies. But since I went in there, I did spawn the enemies, and right there I'm doing that. I shot that proximity mine just because some of the enemies do come from the right at times. One of the issues though is Sheva does get in your line of sight over here, and it's really exasperating. See, she's right in the way, and I just can't aim at these guys. But in the distance, you do see the giant Majinis. Their heads are completely protected. They don't even have any kind of visor or anything that you can shoot through or anything like that. So I'm gonna bust out the Magnum and just look at the damage it deals. The guy's dead, and that's a free Magnum. It's not the best one that exists, but just imagine if that was even more powerful. It would end this whole business about being bullet sponges. So you want to fall back here, and I didn't expect to live over here, quite honestly. I don't even know. I think they take like 30 slugs, but if you loosen them up with the proxy mines, shoot a couple of magnums and throw all your grenades. I threw 4 fucking grenades at these guys, and he still required some magnum slugs. So I had just some very erratic spawns over here. So traditionally what happens is all the enemies will rush you. I only got a certain number of enemies to spawn, and then I got some drifters. And also what these guys do is they jump at you, and you're required to press the X plus A button or the 2 triggers simultaneously. And it's really hard to react to that, I think, in combat, because you seldom expect it, and it just comes out of nowhere sometimes. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've just run out of bullets over here. It's just running out of bullets in a game with guns. It's just like, it's like Kratos not being able to use his blades of chaos. And just imagine you're in a really fierce fight or a big gauntlet, and all of a sudden the game says, just stop for a second, you can't use your blades anymore. Fend for yourself. Just run around with no weapon. That's pretty much what this is, and that's what I think about every single time. So I was just going about my business over here, and I don't think I saw those. See the guys in the distance? I didn't even see them. But once the music cued, I knew there was more danger. So what else is over here? I will be going to a platform where there are some flames that you can knock over and deal some damage to the enemies, and there's a ladder, but it just doesn't work because the enemies will jump up wherever they want to. And just be really careful over here. If you get into a situation like this where you've killed the 2 giants, but you just have some stragglers left, just be particularly careful. And it's probably one of the hardest fights in the game, just because I wanted to upgrade that Magnum. Or what did I want to do? I think I just wanted to upgrade my rifle. I just wanted to upgrade the damage capacity, but I didn't have any money. So it's either you don't have bullets in this game or you don't have money. That's my whole conundrum constantly with this game. And I guess I'm just not used to it, because in Resi 4 I rarely ran out of bullets. I mean, I was opening all the chests and boxes and barrels with the gun, and on this I really wouldn't recommend opening the barrels with the gun. Okay, so the reason I came up here is because I heard something suspicious, and then I don't even know how this guy came in here. He must have already been in here, because when he jumped up here, it scared the holy fucking shit out of me. This guy right here. What I was doing, I was waiting for him to come in the room to knock the flame over and possibly deal some damage to him. But he must have been in here. Or he just kind of teleported in here. I have no idea. But I think that's all the enemies cleared. So there are no threats. There's going to be some snakes in the vases up ahead, but it's post-checkpoint. So there are no tricks or anything like that. And then you have a choice of operating the crank for Sheva or having her operate it. The last time I just had her cross the bridge, but this time I'm going to do it because I wanted to see how it worked on the other's perspective. So that door is barred, and we'll just have her open it. And where's the checkpoint? There is the checkpoint. Okay, so I'm in the red, so I do need some health. And these snakes yield eggs sometimes. So we'll pick this up. Crack open an egg. I hate eggs in real life. They're so fucking disgusting. And some of those do yield those golden eggs, so you want to look for those. I just noticed the cursors on my display window, and that reminds me of Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, the PC version. The cursor doesn't disappear. It's completely ridiculous. And I can't remember if I had that problem when I was doing my guide last time for the PC version, but I'm really tired of these PC versions not living up to what they should. And it's really annoying. Just imagine you're playing a game and you have the cursor on the middle of the screen. So what I've had to do is I've had to hide it behind the FPS counter in the top right, but I still know it's there. So this is the new treasure for me. I never went in this cave before because I thought it led to the exit of the chapter, but the exit of the chapter is to the left. And that sells for possibly 4,000. And that's the end of the chapter, a longish chapter. And the next chapter is Execution Grounds. Take care.